Well, as the title says, here's a little cheat code to Pokemon card investing. Now, I've outlined a lot of different ways you can invest in Pokemon cards throughout a lot of videos. And I think this strategy is probably, I certainly wouldn't say it's the laziest, but it's the easiest way to jump on the train and make a little bit of money. Now, of course, there's heaps of different ways. I've talked through it before. You know, you can sit on sealed product and wait for it to appreciate. You can sit on singles and wait for them to appreciate. You can buy bulk collections, piece them out, sell them individually. You can buy for the grade, so you can buy multiple raw copies of, near mint new cards, send them off to get graded, hope they return a 10, and then on-sell them for a profit. Like, I don't need to go through all the different ways you can make money off Pokemon card investing, but for today, I want to just outline a little cheat code. And I suppose the real technical term for this investing strategy is called momentum investing, the momentum investing strategy. It's not a difficult one. It's not a new one. A lot of people in the share market use it all the time as an investing strategy. And essentially what you do is you ride the wave up. It's not about buying something at its lowest, or what's that term they use, like catching a falling knife and hoping it will go back up. It's about riding that wave and experiencing that uptick. So buying a share or a stock and experiencing that uptick up. And here's the best example of it, right? And I'll go through a couple of pros and cons of this investing strategy, but for me, I think it's the easiest way to make money. And we've seen it just recently on a lot of Sword and Shield sets. So the whole idea behind it is, as soon as a product starts to move up in price and the sentiment around the community starts to talk about it, we know that that object, or in this case, a Pokemon booster box for argument's sake, is holding some sentiment and value to the community, and it's starting to prove it can command a higher price. And the moment that happens, the momentum investing side of it starts to take place. And like I was saying, we've seen it just recently with a lot of Sword and Shield sets. We've seen it with Fusion Strike, we've seen it with Brilliant Stars, we've seen it with Astral Radiance, we've seen it in Lost Origin, we're seeing it once again with Silver Tempest, and there's every chance we're going to see it with Crown Zenith as well. It's just what happens. And basically what you do is, rather than buying at the absolute dip and maybe sitting at the absolute dip for a period of 6 months or 9 months or 12 months or 2 years in some cases, the moment that object starts to prove to you that it can gain momentum is when you buy in. Now, the best example of that is probably Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike was perhaps overshadowed by monster sets like Evolving Skies and the 25th anniversary, etc. And, its supply didn't get absorbed as quickly as it should have or could have if it wasn't surrounded by such great sets. And then it sat dormant for a good 18 months before it even looked like making a move up. But the moment supply started to shorten and demand for it started to go up, all of a sudden we started seeing some uptick, and the momentum investing strategy could have and should have taken place on that set. So the whole idea behind that strategy is, let's say, and I'm just plucking numbers out of the air, but let's say Fusion Strike, and I'll just use round numbers, was sitting at $100 for 18 months. Let's just say it was. I'm not saying it was, but let's say it was. It was sitting at $100 for 18 months. Then all of a sudden, supply, you looked on eBay, you looked on TCG Player, supply started to dwindle. Next available booster box price was, say, 105 or 110, and then bang, in a 1 month period, it went to 105. Then another month period, it went to 110, and then you realize, hold on, the next cheapest booster boxes are 115, 120. That is the momentum investing strategy. That's when you jump on board. So rather than parking your money at $100, or maybe even $90 when it was cheaper, or $80, and letting it sit for 18 months, you go, hold on, this object is starting to prove to me that it can make a massive move upwards or start that momentum upwards. Now's the time to jump on board. So when it comes to sealed Pokemon card collecting, I really think that's a great strategy. And if anyone, I know we're all a lot of PokeTubers, as you call investment channels, are really pumping Sword and Shield booster boxes. It wasn't because we did it for no reason. Most people were probably banking on this momentum investing strategy. Now, it's not all fun and games in this investing strategy, because I think there's probably two negatives to it. I wouldn't even call them negatives. They're more time-consuming things, though, okay? It really needs, for this strategy to work, some constant data analysis. Like, you really need to be looking at the market, and in particular, really need to be looking at supply levels, when things are selling out on TCG Player, or when things are going out on eBay and they're getting lower and lower. Stores, rather than having 15 boxes, are down to 2 boxes or 1 box or none at all. and you can see the price hike. So it sort of takes constant data analysis of every single set, whether you're looking, now at Paldea Evolved or Obsidian Flames or Paradox Rift, and just analysing the numbers of stores and how much inventory they have left. It does take time for that strategy. So that's probably one negative. And I guess you could say there's a pretty high degree or level of skill needed for that. As in, you can't just step into it like shares, for argument's sake. Your buddy might tell you, oh, buy this share, it's going to be a good stock. Or you in top 10 shares of 2024, oh, I'll buy that one. Click, $20 brokerage fee, bang, I own $10,000 of those shares. No skill whatsoever needed, is there? But in this strategy, you probably do need some, Pokemon investing intelligence around the whole concept to be able to make this work, essentially. So that's another thing. I wouldn't say they're negatives, but there's skill and there's time involved, I think, in that strategy. But the positives really, really outweigh the negatives, in my opinion. There's great potential for short-term gains. Like, rather than having to wait 18 months for a set to even make a move, look at Fusion Strike. If you bought that 5 months ago or 6 months ago at $100 a booster box, and it's now sitting at whatever it's up to, 200 and I don't even know what it's up to now. It has to be over 200. Is it 220, 240? I don't know. But you've over doubled your money in a period of 6 months. That's some serious or good potential for short-term gains there. The other side of it is, the other real positive is there's no need to take up capital for a long period of time in that instance. As in, you can buy in 6 months, bang, sell, move on to the next one that you see this, momentum investing strategy working for. And finally, it's engaging and fun, isn't it? Like, to not just sit on money for a long period of time, but to realize it can make gains and watch it move up. And even analyzing the data, it makes the whole process a bit more engaging and fun. So, hey, I don't know if you'd call that exactly a cheat code, but I think it's a great way to make some serious dollars off Pokemon card investing on sealed product in the short term. Hopefully it helps in some way. I'm Michael. This is PokeOz. Catch everyone next time.